Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I'm a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out my video today. This is a yarn channel where we talk about all things yarn, so if that interests you, please sit back and watch this video because today, my friends, I offer you another session of Coffee and Cake with Juan. So I have my coffee here. This is Dunkin' Donuts hazelnut with caramel macchiato creamer, and I have my cake here. So I'm actually making these cakes, yarn scrap cakes to be exact. So I've already started, and I said to myself while I was making this very cake, I said, maybe I need to turn the camera on and answer some questions, because earlier in the day, I put a post on my community tab asking the viewers and everybody if they had any questions that were yarn related that they'd like to ask me, and I'd fuse them in to my videos. So some are actually calling these office hours. So I figured, why not? I think it's a great idea. I haven't done a Q&A in months, so this is a great opportunity. So I pulled out the iPad. I have all the questions here. There are 90 to be exact. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but I will pepper them through multiple videos just so that I could get to all of the questions. So I have that there. I have this here. Now, so far, I have 4 colors on here. I started with white. I have blue on the outside. Just inside the blue, I have green. And then I have purple. I don't know if you can see that. Purple. And then inside of that, I have orange. So we have a nice selection of different kinds of colors in here. So it's great. I believe next I'm going to do another variegated yarn. Or maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. Can I get to it? Maybe. Okay, I'll figure this out in a minute. I'll set that there. Let's do yellow. We need a good bright color, right? Why not? Okay, so while I set this up, let me go ahead and ask the very first question. So, out of all the new yarn you have discovered, which one is your favorite? That is a very, very good question, and Melissa asks this question. So, Melissa, out of all the new yarn I have discovered, which one is my favorite? I've only been on YouTube for 8 months. Well, yeah, it just turned 8 months on the 21st. It's the 24th, I believe. Actually, the favorite yarn, and I mean, I'm only stammering here because I have come across so many different new to me yarns. That question's very difficult to answer, if I'm being honest. When I first started my channel, I only knew the yarns that were behind me and up here. So Karen 1 Pound, Red Heart Super Saver, I have Bernat Super Value back here, I have Big Twist, I have Loops and Threads. So all of that was my wheelhouse. That was my jam. And then as I progressed through the time on my channel, I discovered many, many kinds of yarns out there. I have several favorites, actually. I mean, you're asking a yarn addict. Pick your poison. I mean, oh my goodness. That is such a trivial question. I guess the answer is I don't have one favorite. I mean, that is the most direct answer to your question, Melissa. I do have to say I have a lot of new to me yarns that I really enjoy, but I can't choose one over the other. So let's see, how can I boil this down? So, okay, I'm really, really, really into the Barocco yarns. So that was brand new to me. I've never experienced any of those types of yarns, and so I was introduced to that most recently, and I have come to really enjoy working with those off camera, just because a lot of the colors that I've been gifted are too dark to record, so I don't bother with that. In terms of accessible yarns, because Barocco yarns can be very pricey depending on what you're getting. I think, let me see, something new to, okay, so Pima Cotton from Line Brand is something that I really enjoy working with because it's soft, it's cotton. I mean, yeah, I really like that a lot. What else? What else, Juan? Wow, I never thought such an easy question would be so trivial. Let me see. And then again, there were a lot of new yarns that came out since starting my channel. And I feel like that's always going to be like a constant. Every season, there will always be something new. I don't think there will be a year that goes by where there's nothing new and that everything is the same. So for now, I will say the Barocco line of yarns. I know that's generalizing. Okay, fine. So I like Sesame. No, I like all of them. I haven't found one line of Barocco yarns that I did not care for. I like all of them. Everyone would expect me to say Malabrigo, and while I really enjoy Malabrigo yarns, it's not something that I feel comfortable working with year-round. So that's just a personal preference. I do really enjoy those yarns, but yeah, for me, that is autumn, winter, early spring, and then I move on to other things. So that's not one of my favorites. So I will say Barocco yarns, for sure, is one of my new favorites. Now, in terms of value yarns, if there was a value yarn that was new to me that I really, really enjoy, that I haven't tried before until starting the channel, that would actually be Premier yarns. Yep. I wasn't well versed in anything Premier until I started my channel, and it hit me like a train. So like when I started my channel, I saw Premier's website, I went ahead and ordered, and then I tried it, and then I fell in love with it. Premier Basics DK, Premier Worsted. There aren't too many things on Premier's website that I do not like. So that, as far as value yarns are concerned, or accessible yarns, definitely Premier, for sure. I really enjoy that. So, yes. Sorry for dragging that one out. It's just a loaded question. Let me hit the heart on that one. Okay. Let's see. Does Mama Wilma know how to read patterns? So Crochet D63, Crochet D63 asks, does Mama Wilma know how to read patterns? No, she does not. She does not read patterns. She feels like she doesn't have to. She enjoys what she enjoys, and you guys see her doing the same thing every time, and she's here for it. She's like, this is all I want to do. Some people are not trying to reach for the stars or the moon. She just really enjoys doing her granny squares, her granny blankets, so to speak, because that's literally all she does, friends. She just likes doing that, and she's so good at it. I mean, you'd be surprised at how trivial making granny blankets and things like that can actually be, especially when you're trying to make every single stitch absolutely perfect. Nothing out of place. The tension's absolutely perfect. Yeah, that's Mom in a nutshell. And I really like this yarn. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to sit that to the side because I'm going to use it again. Yeah, so she has no interest in learning how to read patterns. Every time I tried, friends, she's like, Juan, I'm 80 years old. I'm perfectly okay with not reading patterns. I got by this long without reading patterns. I'm fine not starting now. I'm like, okay, Ma. Hey, to each their own. So I don't even bother her with it. So let's go ahead and heart that. What is one yarn related craft you haven't done yet? That's a good question. Ooh, let me heart that one. Sierra asks that. What is one yarn related craft you haven't done yet? So, let's see, what haven't I done? I've tried latch hook. I used to do latch hook when I was a kid. My sister taught me that, my oldest sister. So there's that. Cross stitch, is that even a thing? Cross stitch, needlepoint, never had experience with that, if that's even a thing. Plastic canvas, I've watched, I've played, but I've never taken on any projects, nor any major interest, if that makes any sense. I always enjoyed watching other people do it, so plastic canvas. What else? I guess I'll put some black in here. What else? I've done Tunisian, I've done crochet, I've done knitting, I've done weaving. Wall art, yarn art. Yeah, I can't really think of anything right now. That is a good question, though. If I think of it, I'll answer it. Let's see. Good morning. So Jill asks, when I'm feeling blue, my crocheting really helps. What do you do when you're feeling blue? So, same. When I'm feeling blue, I feel better when I crochet. It's my therapy. It allows me to think more clearly about, things. And it could literally be anything. It helps me process things. I don't know if I'm the only one that goes through that, but I feel more centered when I'm crocheting. I feel at peace. It's like my home when I'm crocheting. And a lot of that is drawn back to when I began crocheting. It takes me there. So when I'm feeling blue, I crochet. I have no interest in trying any other yarn crafts when I'm blue. It's crocheting. It brings me my peace. I don't know why, it just does. So let me hit that. Have you ever used Hobby Lobby yarns? I can't seem to recall it being featured on your channel. Yes. It's actually on my channel quite a bit. So it's peppered throughout. I haven't featured it as like the showstopper. But yes, I love this yarn. I love this cotton. I actually shop there quite frequently. Every other week to be exact. When I can, I don't overdo it, because when you have a 30% off sale happening every other week, I'm like, you know what? I can wait until the following week if I don't see the colorway that I enjoy. So I try to, not go too crazy with it all. Anyway. But yes, I have played around with some Hobby Lobby yarns, and I really like Hobby Lobby yarns. It's very squish. They're worsted weight yarns. Yep, very squish. Really enjoy it. And I know a lot of people on the YouTube streets enjoy it as well. So that's cool. Let's see. Did I heart that? Yes, I did. Okay. Let's see. Growing back. So Jess asks, when are you going to finally try one of my faves, Crochet yarns? So I have seen many people on the YouTube streets talk about Crochet yarns, and for some reason I just never brought myself to actually place an order. Now I've looked at everything on the website, I've watched everyone talk about it. I feel like if I try it on my channel, it may be of no interest to people on the YouTube streets because they've already seen it all, It's not like it's a Joann's website where there's like, page after page after page. It's, it's limited, so to speak, in terms of like what they have now. They have a lot, don't get me wrong. It's just that I think I've seen everything that they have on other channels, and I don't know if there's any interest in what Juan thinks, you know? So I never brought myself to, you know, place an order. That being said, I think I should because, you know, people like Jess ask me, they're like, so when are you going to try it? So I'll tell you what, Jess, after I'm done recording this video, I'll go to Crochet Yarns and I will place an order. And when it gets here, I will talk about it and do all the things. And hopefully, where are we here? Okay. Hopefully it gauges some interest. But if not, at least I have some good yarn, because that's the one constant thing that I do hear. I hear that Crochet Yarns has some really good yarn. So, you know, that's a huge plus. It's just that, you know, will people want to watch me say the same things? You know, it's great yarn, it's all the things. I don't know. We'll see, but I'm going to place an order, Jess, just for you. Let's see. Okay, so Margie asks, Juan, I bought my first hanks of yarn from a fiber festival. Dumb question, but what is the easiest way to ball it up without any contraptions? This is very, very easy, and it looks like multiple people have asked. But I'm going to answer this one. So what I like to do is I like to sit Indian style on the floor, and I like to put it around my kneecaps. Just ball it around my kneecaps, and not ball it, but wrap it around my knees, and then just go like this. And that's just kind of how I do it. And then once it's balled up, I put it in a bowl, and then I put it on here, and then I make a cake. That's how I do it. I know it's an additional step, but it doesn't involve any contraptions, which is super, super nice. You know, who says you need a Swift when you have yourself? You know, if you're physically able to do it, why not? You know. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some of this pink in here, which is super nice. Okay, so let's see. So O'Kelly asks, would you rather eat pizza 3 times a week or live in a world with no pizza at all? Well, I am actually not a pizza eater. I used to be. That was until I became a diabetic, and now I don't eat pizza at all. So I know I specifically asked for yarn-related questions, but it's fine. I answered the question. No big deal. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so didn't see the yarn part of the questions. Sorry. Okay. This is Sandy asking. She asks, if someone offers you $10 million and the only condition to get that money is that you do not use yarn and knit and crochet for a month, would you do it? No, I would not. Nope. Because for me, what we do here with yarn and crochet is not about the money. It never was. It never is. You know, I think to me it's more than that, but could I do it? Yes. But would I do it? No, I wouldn't do that. I love yarn so much. Like when I wake up, I think about yarn. It's the first thing I think about when I wake up. It's the last thing I think about before I go to bed. I think about projects. I think about ideas. I'm constantly thinking of all the things. Like, what can I do next with the yarns? I look at colors. I'm constantly inspired. And I know many people who watch me are as well. So anyway, no, for me, it's not about the money. Even though $10 million is a lot of money. I mean, for a month, if I had to deal without yarn, crochet, and all the things, and then like after that, I got to have my yarn back, I could have $10 million to buy more yarn. I didn't think about it like that. See, I needed to think about that from a different perspective. So now that we discuss it like that, that's a very, very, very loaded question, and I didn't realize it. because can you imagine how many skeins $10 million would buy? I mean, we'd be able to buy literally all the things. I don't know. I have to think about that. Because part of me says, yes, I can make do for a month without yarn and things. But the other part of me is like, no, Juan, you can't deal without yarn and, it centers me. This is my therapy, and I know this is therapy for many people as well. So I don't know how I would manage. Oh, this is so good. This is a good cake, my friends. Isn't it? Oh my goodness, it's so good. Tasty. It's a tasty cake. All right. So let's go ahead and seal this one up. Oh, this is a good cake. Nice and fluffy and stuffy. It's got all the things in it. Okay, let's just take that off. Oh yeah. Look at that cake. What? This is so good. And it's got some weight to it too. Oh yeah, that is a good cake. Look at all those colors. Are you kidding me right now? This is so good. Anyway, cake number 2. We're going to just jump right into it. I'm going to start with black because I only have a little bit left of this one, so it's fine. All right. So Sandy, I actually have to think about that. I'll probably reach out to you and tell you the answer, because as of right now, I probably would not do it, just because it's not about the money for me. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so A Square Granny asks, all-time most favorite project and biggest disaster. Oh, goodness gracious. Let me tell you. My all-time most favorite project and biggest disaster, they're two separate situations. So my temperature blanket, the one that turned out in these huge hexagon puffs, all-time favorite project. Hands down, all-time favorite, because I had to research what the temperature was in 1979 for the entire year. Then I wrote it all on a graph every day, and then I assigned colors to every single day, and then I did all the things, okay? And it took me 3.5 months, I think, to make that blanket. I had 52 hexagon motifs, and then I had to join them all together, and it took a lot of yarn. It took a lot of yarn to make that, and it was a king-size blanket by accident. I mean, I didn't gauge it, I didn't measure it, I did what I did, and that was it. All-time favorite project because it took a lot of planning, a lot of organizing. I had to make sure that everything was just right, So I really, really enjoyed that. Biggest disaster. Okay, so there was a sweater that I made. It's wool spun yarn from Hirschner's. As of right now, it's discontinued or not in stock. It's one of them. It was red and black, and I featured it on the channel, and it was all half double crochet. I had the back panel done, the front panel done, and the arm done. Well, I go to assemble it, and it did not make sense whatsoever. My measurements were so off because the length and the width were on the wrong, panel 1 and panel 2 did not match because for some reason, the measurements turned out so that it was like this instead of like this. So this one panel, I frogged the entire thing, and not paying attention, I recrocheted it the same exact way that I frogged it. It was horrible. I just did not know how to respond to myself because no one told me to go back and redo it the same way I just frogged it. I was so upset with myself. I'm like, Juan, you were so much better than this. Why did you do this? Meanwhile, everyone on the channel's like, what happened to the red and black sweater that you showed us? Like, what's going on with that? You know? And so I just, out of sight, out of mind. I didn't pay it any mind. I just continued on business as usual, you know. Meanwhile, I knew it was a complete train wreck. So I put it in timeout. And then I believe it was a month later, a month now, I pull it back out of the bin and I lay everything out. I get the front and the back correct. I go and do the arm, and the arm measurements completely off. It did not match, so I had to frog all that. I redid the arm. Fine, got it attached, and then I went to the other arm. Well, for some reason, I could not make the left and the right even because the hole did not match the panel, and then once I got that done, the length, I mean, it was a disaster. I mean, the more I frogged it, the more upset with it I got. And I said, you know what? This is not what this is for me. I said, I just took it all apart, balled it up, put it in the bin, and I just 86'd the entire situation. It just was not meant to be. It wasn't meant to be a sweater, because if it was, it would have happened. I wasn't allowing myself the space to just let it happen. I mean, poor planning on my part. I should have wrote all the things down. It was a learning opportunity for me. You know, I got to plan a little better, pay attention, use stitch markers when I absolutely have to. It was a disaster. Yes. But that was my favorite project and my biggest disaster. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, answered that one. Okay, so I don't know if I answered this one, but I'm going to answer it anyway. So Kelly asks, when did you first learn to crochet, and did you learn regular or Tunisian first? So Kelly, I learned to crochet from my grandmother and my aunt. I was like 14, 15 years old. I was being bullied in school, and I talked about this in my earlier videos. It was so bad that my aunt pulled me out of school and took me under her wing, and she taught me everything she knew. Now, my grandmother found out about this. My grandmother thought I was going to school every day. I was doing everything that I was supposed to be doing. No, I was homeschooled, so to speak. I did all of my classwork and everything I needed to do at home. And my grandmother comes in, and I thought I was in for it, because, my grandmother and my aunt are from my mom's side, and that's all German, very strict, very type A personalities. That's my family in a nutshell on my mom's side. Total, type A personality. Anyway, I thought I was in some deep trouble, and my grandmother said the exact opposite of what I thought she was going to say, which is, what else do you need to know? What else do you want to learn? So she also taught me. So I first learned how to crochet. That came first. My grandmother tried teaching me knitting, but I just could not pick it up, so that got left to the wayside. My aunt taught me Tunisian. Now, it wasn't, a full-out lesson. She taught me how to do entrelac in the round. She taught me how to do the simple stitch and a few other stitches, but I never really dug into it as much because it was always about crochet. So I took what my aunt taught me and then taught myself the rest through the years. So the entrelac and the round, I did not ask anybody for additional help. So the way that I do my entrelac and the round is exactly the same way that my aunt did it in the 90s. So no part of that has changed. And I've done some projects, entrelac projects. I've shown them on the channel. They're in the earlier videos. the entrelac in the round. I did it in black, white, purple, and gray, like a heathered gray. It's beautiful. I actually gave that away, I think, around Christmas time. So I no longer have it, but I'm definitely interested in getting back into it. I actually have a brand new set of Tunisian hooks that I ordered months ago. It took months to get here. But they're here. I got it from AliExpress, I believe. It's these hooks right here. I first saw TL Yarn Crafts with these, and I was inspired to get my own set. And so I have my own set of Tunisian crochet hooks. And in my pouch I have all the other things. But yes, I am in love with this set. I absolutely love it. It is the best investment ever. So it just took forever to get here. That was my only issue. But apart from that, I'm like, this is perfect. Now, I do want to get a set of wooden Tunisian hooks. I do have metal ones that are just your standard metal ones from Amazon. I was gifted those from Brenda. So I'm super excited about those too, because I call them Afghan hooks. Like, I was raised with these hooks right here being called Afghan hooks. Nowadays they're called Tunisian hooks. I even have some vintage hooks still in the packaging that says Afghan hook, but nonetheless the process is the same, tomato. But yes, so I learned crochet first, and then I learned Tunisian second. And then I decided to expand on that as I got older. So there is that. Let's see. So Alyssa asks, "Hi Juan, I love to crochet to music and movies. What are some of your favorite musicians and favorite movies to crochet to?" This is a great one. This is so good. So, funny story. Before the channel, I was always watching movies, and I really enjoyed TV shows that had many seasons and many episodes, because in my mind I say to myself, okay, I'm going to start this project, and then I'm going to give myself until the end. I'm going to give myself until the end of all the episodes to finish this. So there is Orange is the New Black. I did an entire project. I started it season 1, episode 1. I started the project and I was done before the end of the last season, the last episode. So that's kind of my thing. I did that with Orange is the New Black. I did New Amsterdam. Oh my goodness, the list goes on. Outlander. I did one with Outlander. It was just a granny square blanket, but I didn't know at the time that more seasons were coming. So I did the first 4 seasons of Outlander. Or was it 3 seasons? 3 seasons. The first 3 seasons of Outlander, I did a project and I finished it. So that was super exciting. So I'm into those types of things. Lots of episodes, lots of seasons, Netflix specifically. Yeah. Now, music. So I don't really enjoy music while I'm crocheting, because I am a classically trained musician. And I say that loosely because it's been years since I've practiced every single day. Every now and then I'll go into the closet and I'll pull out my kids. I call my violins and violas and things my kids, my instruments. Every now and then I'll go into the closet, I'll pull out the kids and I'll play with them, but then they'll go back. It's been years since I've practiced daily. And so, yeah, when I'm crocheting, I'm not really thinking about wanting to listen to music, just because I'm picking it apart, especially classical music. If I'm listening to someone play a piece that I know how to play, I'm listening to their intonations, I'm listening to their timing, their stroking. I'm listening to all of the technical things, and I'm not really enjoying it. So, yeah, I don't listen to that, and I don't really care to listen to the radio either. just because I get too into it and I lose track of, stitch counts, tension, and things like that. So yeah, I stick to watching Netflix, but that was all before the channel. So now that, the channel's a thing, I watch other channels. And so I watch my favorites. I have a list of favorites that I watch. That list has recently changed, but it constantly changes. So I find new people on the YouTube streets that I had no idea even existed. So that's super exciting. So the great thing, sorry, I'm stuck here. So the great thing about YouTube is that you never know who's on the YouTube streets until you press, play and watch all the things. So the list that I had when I first started my channel is nothing like it is now. A lot of new creators came out since I started my channel, and that's super exciting. So I need to fix that. I can't let that go to waste. Anyway, did I put pink in here? Yes, I did. Okay, time for some yellow. Let's see. Let's pick another one. Okay, so Susan asks, do you use ASL in your job? Do you get your height from your dad? Okay, so they're not necessarily yarn-related questions, but since they're here and my moderators haven't removed them, I'm just going to go ahead and ask them anyway, or answer them. Sorry, I don't mind, I do use my ASL when necessary. If someone comes in who, they can't hear, they can't speak, but they know sign language, yes. And then they're surprised. They're like, "Oh my goodness, you know how to do sign language?" I'm like, "Yes." Native level sign language based on like what me and my mom do. My mom is old school. She's 80 years old, so the sign language that she was brought up with is not always the same as what it is now. So I come across that quite a bit. So like when I'm signing with someone who is younger than my mom, there are some signs that don't match. And they'll tell me, they'll be like, "I don't know what that is." I'm like, "Well, we're old school, so I don't know what to tell you, but that's what I know. And if you want my help, this is all I know." So yeah. Do I get my height from my dad? Yes, I do. My father was, how tall was he before he passed? He was 6'2". I'm taller than him. So, but I do get my height from him. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I have a few sisters of mine that are tall as well, but then I have a few sisters that are short, like my mother. My mom is short. My dad is tall. I consider my mom short. She's 5'4". Yes, she's short. I love her. She's all the things. But yeah, my mom is short, my dad is tall, and that's how that happened. Well, I don't know how that happened, but yes, you kind of get what I'm saying. Let's see. Let me heart that one. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Samantha asks, how do I keep my side straight when doing the moss stitch? So you have to make sure that your stitches are exactly where they should be. So if you're doing the moss stitch straight across, right, what you want to do is you put your single crochet in the last stitch of the row, and then you chain 2. And then you turn your work, and then you put the single crochet in the very first available chain space, right? Not on top of the single crochet that you just did, but the chain space. And then you continue on. And when you come back to it, to the end, you'll see a chain space there that has 2 chains. You're going to put a single crochet in that 2 chain spot. And a lot of people have issues with that. But once you get the hang of it, it's very simple. End your first row with a single crochet, chain 2, turn your work, and go into the very first chain space of that row. And that 2 chains that you have on the end there, when you get back to it, you're going to put a single crochet in there. Just follow that principle and your sides will be straight. Easy peasy, I promise. So, I really like this yarn. I don't know what it is. I don't know the name of it. At this point, it doesn't even matter. It's look at all those colors. Isn't that good? It's so good. Love it. Let's see. What is your best memory of crocheting? That is such a good question. I have lots of great memories crocheting. As dark as my teenage years were, some of my best memories are of when I was crocheting with my aunt, with my grandmother. My aunt, she was known for doing the moss stitch. And the way that she did the moss stitch, she picked like 4 colors, right? It could be any 4 colors. And she did 1 row each color, and she alternated every row a different color of those 4 colors, the entire blanket that way. And she treated it like it was a mosaic where, you do a slip knot on your hook, and then you go into the first stitch, and then you do your moss stitch, and then you cut it off. Go back to the beginning, slip knot on your hook, go into the first stitch, and just do the things all the way across. She was known for that. She made all of us kids one in our favorite colors, and yeah, we all had our own blanket, and it was done in that way. And she taught me how to do that. See, as a teenager, I'm like, how do you do that? To me, back then, it was complicated, but now it's second nature. Like, I might actually do that. Yeah. I just think it's great. And actually, it would help me remember my aunt, because she was known for that. She made dozens and dozens of those blankets. And she used a 6mm crochet hook, and she used Karen in the 1 pound, or Red Heart Super Saver. She didn't really care for Bernat Super Value. I don't know why. Because to me, it was readily available when we were shopping for yarn at Woolworths and things. It was there. I remember it. But yeah, wow. That's a blast of a memory from the past, if I say so myself. So yeah, I think I'm going to do something like that. Best memory was when she taught me how to do that, and how proud of me she was when I got it right. And she's like, Juan, that looks so good. Great job. That was such a great feeling. Because, like I mentioned, my aunt and my grandmother were type A personalities, You had to go above and beyond in order to please them. They were amazing people in their own right, but it took a lot to please them. So, anyway, as far as my grandmother is concerned, it was when she taught me how to do the granny square. And I remember she gave me this fat plastic hook. It was so fat. She was like, okay, follow me. So I sat in front of her. She was right-handed and I was left-handed because I mirrored her. And so I had my hook on this hand. She had her hook on this side, but opposite, so right hand, left hand. And I followed her. And we did the first round, and then we did the second round. And I remember she put her work down and reached around and gave me this huge hug. And she held me, and she's like, and don't you forget that. So, yep. Best memory. So, yeah. I'll answer one more question. So, have you ever tried Big Twist Value yarn? Have I? Have I? It's all over. It's all over. I have Big Twist everywhere. Every room in my house, I have Big Twist. I love Big Twist. It's not my number one favorite. Loops and Thread Soft Classic is, because it's more full. And I really, really enjoy Loops and Threads. But what I like about Big Twist, it's funny. So what I like most about Big Twist is I can double up the yarns and do like a corner to corner, and it is super squish. Like, it is very squishy when you do that. with Big Twist, but when you're doing it with Loops and Thread Soft Classic, it's very bulky. With Big Twist, it's not as bulky, it's very squishy. You know, you get a lot of squish. So that's what I really enjoy with Big Twist yarns, and that's why I still buy Big Twist yarns, because I like doubling these up. Lots of fun. Love that. Anyway, so I believe that is it for the caking and coffee, because we are 45 minutes in and we made 2 beautiful cakes. Look at this. Beautiful cakes. Love that. So anyway, friends, if you enjoyed this cake and coffee with Juan, please hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would love to have you. And also hit that notification bell to stay updated with me and my channel. I go live every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. with my mother. We hang out. We share some of our Sunday with you guys. You know, we interact with the audience, or at least we try to. And we just have a good time. So if that is of interest to you, please hang out with us. We would love to have you. So that is it for this one here. And until the next one, take care, friends. Bye.